Giggity swooty, howdy doody. My name is KM Husky, and this is my fourth attempt at making this video. I've had too many interruptions, hopefully this is the one. Alright, so welcome to Dreamcast, I don't even know, 7? I'm not entirely sure. The last one was the Attack on Odd Gene, like anime mix dream I had, weird one. But this one is weird still, that's why I make these videos. But, so yeah, we might as well get started. So, I think it started off, or as far as I remember, I was with my girlfriend and we were telling, like, a story, like, making up a story, and joking around about how, like, what if Santa Claus was God or something, and it was, like, the story, and it was, like, way back in, like, medieval times or whatever, and, there was, like, Vikings, and the Santa Claus was, talking to the Vikings, warning them about something, I don't remember. And then he looked at one of the Vikings, and this Viking had a fox pelt on, and kind of put him in a trance. And it was back when the Viking was a kid, and he killed that fox to get the fox pelt. And so it was more like a memory replay or whatever. He was replaying that memory, and but then, like, once it started going into that memory, I turned into that Viking kid. And he was like 9 years old or something. And so I was in the woods and I was hunting this fox, and I think I shot it with an arrow, and then it grew like 100 times its size, kind of like the size of the Ninetales from Naruto, and then started chasing after me, and we had this huge long like running scene, running away and everything. And then eventually I got to the edge of the map, so to speak. It was like this weird barrier that I couldn't pass, and it was like, it marked like the edge of the memory, kind of like in Assassin's Creed, some of the older Assassin's Creeds, there's that like white like barrier that you couldn't get past if you're trying to go further in the story than you were supposed to be going or whatever. And hold on, my throat. Love me some tea. Anyways, so I was kind of hiding between like a bush, or like a bush and tree line that was right next to this barrier, and this fox was like roaming back and forth, getting mad, and then it picked up my scent and it found me, and it bit me or something. And so that signified that it had won, and I had to go with him to get sacrificed or something, kind of like the reverse, like he was going to skin me or something. And I didn't like that too well. So I jumped in a river, and I was floating towards the barrier again, and the fox was getting mad, and I was like, "You're not taking me," or whatever. And then I passed through the barrier. I don't know why I could, but I've had dreams before where I've been able to, or I had a dream before where I was able to pass through the barrier, so I did. And I started falling. And so now, like in video games, sometimes if you pass the walls or something and you go outside the map, you can fall, and then you just fall, and sometimes you respawn. And so I was expecting to respawn, but I never respawned. I just kept falling, and I hate falling in a dream. Falling in a dream sucks. But I was falling, and I noticed it was like the world. Oh, excuse me. The world. I kept falling past the world many times. It was like the same world over and over and over again. And this is where it kind of gets really confusing. But I started like gliding into one of the worlds, and I entered it. And whenever I entered it, I turned into I turned invisible. And nobody could hear me, nobody could understand, or like I couldn't really interact with any people. I was basically kind of like a poltergeist. And so I landed, and then for some reason, I think this was a play on another dream I had recently, but like if I do that and I go into a world, or I mean all these worlds are kind of like multiple realities, multiple dimensions, but in all of them, I died when I was like 9 or something, and it was like this tragic death that everybody knew about, and only in one instance of my life did I survive it, and that was the instance that I now was playing. And so I kind of fell to the ground, but I was invisible. I was trying to interact with people, nobody could hear me, kind of like Jack Frost in Rise of the Guardians. I could still influence like physical forms and stuff, like move stuff around kind of. And then I found my girlfriend, and she in this world I died at 9, and she never really, I guess we were dating then, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if I was 9, but I had died, and it was 15 years later. And I don't know why she didn't age, but everybody else aged other than us two. But I had died, and then she was mourning or something. She was really sad, and then I followed her to her place, and this was like in a weird village, kind of cabin-ish area. I followed her to her house, and we got into her room, and I started interacting with things, and eventually, even though she couldn't hear me, I had communicated through like moving objects around and stuff that it was me, and she was happy. And then I don't know what it was, but the door to her house opened and then closed, like another person entered. And whatchamacallit, I don't know, she was kind of trying to text somebody, and then they took her phone. And at that point, I was trying to protect her. So, because she figured out it was me, I was able to talk to her afterwards. But so she figured out it was me. Let's see, what was it? And so that invisible entity was in there still with me. I was invisible and he was invisible, but he didn't know about me. And so he was holding the phone, and I tackled him and started beating him up and stuff. And it caught him off guard. I told her to wait outside, and if the door opens without me knocking, then she should have kept it closed or whatever. And I found some firewood poker or whatever, and I was swinging it around trying to find the invisible dude. And after a couple minutes of me missing and stuff, the door behind me opened again and closed, and I realized he had escaped. And so I ran outside, and at this point, she could kind of sense where I was. And I was talking to her, and I was like, I don't know where he went. I was trying to look at the grass to see if there's footprints, and I looked up at an adjacent building, and the top floor door opened and closed, and with nobody going in there. So I ran up there, we followed it, and I noticed that there was a lady in there, and she looked very distraught, and she was closing all the blinds. And then I heard a guy kind of reappeared, just like out of nowhere, just appeared, and it was the guy that had snuck into my girlfriend's house. And then I was like, oh, he can reappear, maybe I can too. Maybe we're like that, we have the same connection. So then I reappeared, and it was all great. And then I was I knocked on the window, and I think it was or no, before he reappeared, I knocked on the window, and I saw the blinds move, but no fingers, no nothing. And I was like, I know you're in there. I saw him. And so then he reappeared, and I reappeared, and I think it had some type of plot storyline that was supposed to lead somewhere. And then I was just talking. I was like, hey, I know I've seen your face. I won't tell the authorities. I just need to know, is my girlfriend in danger? Were you there to harm her? And he said no. And I was like, all right, well, can I come in and we talk about this? I don't know why, but it was like plot development. And so I went in. He was getting mad because it was a shop. It was a donut shop. So I went in through the first floor, and I started talking to him. I was trying to figure out why he was part of an organization or something, and they were going after her and me. I think they're going after my memory or whatever. And it was weird, but she wasn't in trouble. And then once I found that out, I was talking to him. He was leaving out of town, or he was going to pack up and leave because he had failed the mission. And then after that, I was like, ooh, I want one of your donuts. I was like looking at the donuts, and I was like, damn, that one looks good. and then I woke up because I was sweating. It was really, really hot in my room. But yeah, that was, I'm telling you, these dreams are weird, and I have them like every night. I can't remember most of them, but whenever I'm home and I do remember them, I try to make these videos because, you know, I kind of want you guys to see how screwed up my mind is sometimes. That's some good tea. I love tea. But anyways, wow. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave it a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you're interested in more videos, hit that bell button to be notified whenever I upload another cringy video. And yeah, I'm going to try to work on a new outro, like instead of just bye-bye. But I don't know. But yeah, thanks again for watching. Thanks for all the support lately. 200 subscribers is coming up, and yeah, I can't believe we're already almost there. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye! No, I did that bye-bye wrong. It was bye-bye! That's what it is. Bye-bye!